This guy scored 63 points in a game in high school. This guy was the first American high school prospect to play professionally in Europe instead of going to play in college. This guy was the first Under Armour basketball athlete. This guy scored 55 points in a game as an NBA rookie in front of fellow rookie Steph Curry. This guy is Brandon Jennings. Brandon Jennings played 9 seasons in the NBA. He never became an all-star, nor would he never get close to 55 points again. So what went wrong? First, we need to begin with his high school career. Brandon attended Dominguez High School in Oak Hill Academy. In his senior year at Oak Hill, he averaged 35.5 points, 7.5 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals per game. His stellar play won him the Naismith High School Basketball Player of the Year, Parade Magazine Player of the Year, and the EA Sports Player of the Year. He was rated as the nation's #1 high school basketball prospect by ESPN. While at Oak Hill on February 19, 2008, he scored 63 points on 25 of 40 shooting, while also making 13 of 21 three-pointers. Brandon outscored the entire opposing team in the 123-58 blowout. His coach Steve Smith said he was in his groove. He made pull-ups, threes, and got to the basket. He was doing whatever he wanted to. He could have scored 75 if I left him out there. Brandon didn't play the last 4 minutes and 51 seconds of the game and definitely could have dropped 70 or more. After his incredible high school career, Brandon announced that he may become the first American to skip college to play in the EuroLeague, which he did. On July 16, 2008, Brandon signed with Lamatica Roma. In 16 EuroLeague games, he averaged 7.6 points per game while shooting 38.7% from the field and 26.8% from 3 while playing 19.6 minutes a game. While these stats are nowhere near as good as his high school stats, they were good enough to get him drafted. On September 23, 2008, Under Armour signed Brandon to a 4-year, $2 million deal.
And Chris Stone was like, yo, I just got the job with Under Armour. We think about going into basketball. I'm like, Under Armour, like, protect this house? Like, I'm like...
On June 25th, 2009, the Milwaukee Bucks selected Brandon 10th overall in the NBA draft.
The 10th pick in the 2009 NBA draft by the Milwaukee Bucks, Brandon Jennings is here, so why don't you welcome him? Brandon?
He would make his regular season NBA debut on October 30th, 2009 against the Philadelphia 76ers. He almost had a triple-double, scoring 17 points plus 9 rebounds and 9 assists in 34 minutes. 2 weeks later, Brandon Jennings would have the biggest night of his NBA career in one of the best games ever by an NBA rookie. On November 19th, 2009, Brandon scored 55 points while making 21 of 34 shots and 7 of 8 three-pointers versus the Golden State Warriors. It should be noted he was scoreless in the first quarter. His 55 points were the most by a rookie since Earl Monroe's 56 in 1968. His 55-point game was also the highest for any NBA player in the regular season that year. For his rookie season, he averaged 15.5 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, and 5.7 assists with shooting splits of 37, 37, and 82. In his second season on October 30th, 2010, Brandon had his first triple-double, scoring 20 points, grabbing 10 rebounds, and dishing out 10 assists versus the Charlotte Bobcats. 2 months later, on December 15th, he broke his left foot playing against the San Antonio Spurs. He ended up having surgery to repair the fracture in his foot. Brandon missed only 19 games due to that injury. He had a season-high 37 points against the Knicks on March 25th, 2011. For his sophomore season, he averaged 16.2 points per game with shooting splits of 39, 32, 81. The NBA had a lockout-shortened 2011-2012 season. Brandon played in all 66 games while averaging a career-high 19.1 points per game. He had a season-high 36 points versus the Knicks on January 20th, 2012. That's right, the Knicks again. He finished with shooting splits of 42, 33, 81. I keep mentioning his shooting splits because, as you may have noticed, he wasn't a very efficient scorer. Granted, a point guard's primary job is usually not to score. Well, we'll address that a bit later. Besides his inefficient shooting, his attitude may have come across as a problem too, as he went public with his displeasure of his contract situation with the Bucks. In March of 2013, Brandon told Yahoo Sports this: "If I take the qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent, there is no way I am coming back. There is no way." A source reportedly told Yahoo Sports that Brandon turned down a 4-year, $40 million extension offer before the season. In his final season with the Bucks, Brandon played in 80 games while averaging 17.5 points per game with shooting splits of 40, 38, and 82. The Bucks will be swept by the NBA champion Miami Heat in the playoffs. During the series, while down 2-0, Brandon had said the Bucks would win in 6.
How many games?
6. We're gonna win in 6.
So when Brandon Jennings says 6, did he mean the Bucks would be out of the playoffs in 6 days?
In his 4 years with the Milwaukee Bucks, Brandon played in 291 games, averaging 34.6 minutes, 17 points, 5.7 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. His shooting splits were 39, 35, and 81. He also played in 11 playoff games, averaging 34.7 minutes, 16.7 points, 3.7 assists, and 1.5 steals per game. His shooting splits in the playoffs with the Bucks were a dreadful 37, 26, and 77. On July 31st, 2013, Brandon was traded to the Detroit Pistons for Brandon Knight, Vyacheslav Krejcov, and future 3-time All-Star and NBA champion Chris Middleton. Brandon would spend 2.5 seasons with the Pistons and had a few big moments while there. On January 11, 2014, versus the Phoenix Suns, he tied Isaiah Thomas's franchise record for the most assists in a half with 16. On January 21, 2015, he scored 24 points and had a career-high 21 assists in a win over the Orlando Magic. Unfortunately, only 4 days later, he ruptured his left Achilles tendon. While with the Pistons, Brandon played 144 games, averaging 30 minutes a game, 14.1 points, 6.6 assists, and 1.1 steals. His shooting splits were 38, 34, 77. On February 16, 2016, Brandon was traded to the Orlando Magic with Ersan Ilyasova for Tobias Harris. He would play only 25 games with the Magic. On July 8, 2016, Brandon signed with the New York Knicks, and on February 27, 2017, he was waived by the Knicks. He played 58 games with the Knicks, starting only 11. A few days later, on March 1, 2017, he signed with the Washington Wizards and has now entered journeyman status, playing with 4 different teams in 2 years. His time in Washington was not good. He played 23 games, only starting 2, and averaged 16.3 minutes. His shooting splits were an abysmal 27, 21, and 71. He did play in 13 playoff games for the Wizards, averaging 13.7 minutes. His shooting splits were 39, 15, and 88. He was clearly not the same player after his Achilles injury. It was an odd sequence of events in Brandon Jennings' last season in the NBA. On March 11, 2018, he signed a 10-day contract going back to the team that drafted him, the Milwaukee Bucks. He signed another 10-day contract on March 21st, and on April 1st, a 2-year, $2.3 million contract. He finished the season playing 14 games for the Bucks, starting none. 4 months later, on August 1st, 2018, he was waived by the Bucks and would never play another game in the NBA again. His NBA career was over at the age of 28. For his career, he played in 555 games, averaging 30.3 minutes, 14.1 points, 5.7 assists, 1.2 steals per game. His shooting splits were 39, 35, and 80. On August 20th, 2018, Brandon signed a 1-year deal with VTB United League team Zenit St. Petersburg. 10 games into the season, he posted the following on Instagram: "Lesson in life, I will never play for a team and the dad is coaching his son. Never again." Shortly after, his contract was terminated, and now his professional basketball career was over. At the start of this video, I asked what went wrong with Brandon Jennings' career. How could a guy with so much potential not have a long, incredible career? First, in an interview, Brandon had said the Bucks held him back as he was more of a scoring point guard than a traditional point guard.
Like you said, it wasn't really a thing for point guards to be just scoring like that. So I battled with that a lot, and that's why I feel like I was really inconsistent a lot. Like I feel like Milwaukee wouldn't let me be who I wanted to be.
Second, and an obvious one, his injuries. He was never the same player after rupturing his Achilles.
But for me, with the Achilles, that's when I lost my passion for the game. Like you just start, personal issues start happening in your life with family members and friends, and it's just chaos.
And third, possibly his attitude. He reportedly had a tense relationship with former Bucks coach Scott Skiles, and he went public with things that probably should have stayed in the locker room. And last, he was an inefficient shooter. His career NBA splits are 39, 35, 80. Though he never made an All-Star game, nor will he make the Hall of Fame, Brandon Jennings will forever be in the NBA history books with his 55-point game as a rookie on November 14, 2009. Do you remember Brandon Jennings? Let me know in the comments and hit the thumbs up if you'd like more videos like this. Thanks for watching.